are some sad parts about my life too, Lucas. My mother left when I was 8 years old. My sister was 12. She had to take care of the house. And it was very traumatic for us. There were 6 of us. My mother left. I never saw her again until I was 32 years old. Nobody knew where she went. There were 6 of us, and the Department of Social Services said my dad couldn't. My brother was only 2. My older sister was 12. It was a sad, sad years of my life, having no mother. But having a beautiful community to support me, having a safe place to grow up, and having aunties and uncles, surrounded by aunties and uncles, who really cared about us, knowing that my mother left. We were under the wings of hundreds of people that know the Cachola kids needed help. My father needed help. And when the Department of Social Services came and said, talk to my father, and my father told us that, we might have to be adopted, it killed me. Really killed me. But then my aunt on Maui adopted one of to keep it in the family, And then my sister went to Kamehameha school, so that left 4. And so my father said, son, if you can get into Kamehameha schools and board there, that'll be 3, and we won't have to be broken up. And so he said, you gotta get into Kamehameha. And I didn't want to go. I mean, my whole life was so good in Kohala. I was home. That was my home. And I had to leave it. I had to go, to board. Well, that's a whole nother story, but to make it long, there was something that happened at Kamehameha. I tried to flunk the tests. I tried to give him the worst interview, and lo and behold, I got accepted anyway. I really did my best to flunk the admissions exams. And when they asked me, I gave them all the bad answers I could, and I still got accepted. And so I went to Kamehameha. And my father couldn't even afford to pay the tuition. It was only $124 a year. And plane fare, round trip, I think one way was something like $24 or something. And so the school, Kamehameha schools knew that. I came from a very modest family. And so they said, okay, if you work 50 hours doing odds and ends around the campus, your tuition is free. So I worked, and I carried a card, and I went to the library after lunch. I had 20 minutes, and Mrs. Boyne taught me the Dewey Decimal System. I could return books. And she gave me other little chores, and in 1 year I paid my own tuition. And then Liliuokalani Trust, by the way, when Queen Liliuokalani died, she left her entire estate for orphan and indigent Hawaiian children. That was us. And so they said, if you get to Kamehameha and you behave and you keep up your grades, we'll pay for all of your bills. My laundry bill, my store bill, pencil, papers, whatever I needed. When they needed a haircut, when I needed new shoes or whatever. They paid for it. So deep in my heart, Lucas, I grew up with two aunties that really took care of my family. One was Auntie Bernice Paul, Bishop, Kamehameha Schools, and the other was Queen Liliuokalani, who took care of orphan and indigents and paid all my bills for 5 years until I graduated. And so I'm always going to be supporting the Queen. And that's who was on the throne during the overthrow. And it took us, anyway, we got to get Hawaii back. And those of us who still support the Queen and everything she stood for, we're going to get it back. Hawaii is not for sale, as Cachola says, and it can't be stolen. Hawaii cannot be stolen, and Hawaii is not for sale. I believe that very strongly.